Just because I'm fat, that doesn't invalidate the things that I say.
She died.
You ready to get supersized?
She died too.
Today I got the big Fruit Loop.
He's dead.
Join me on my Fat Positive radio show.
Which didn't last long because she died.
So what is going on here? Well, if you don't know, this is Blair White, very popular YouTuber. And this video, of course, is about some Fatfluencers who are all like, hey, you know, health at any size, beauty at any size. And they weren't beautiful. Not physically attractive anyway. And then they all died young. So, you know, this is the ultimate case of get woke, go broke. I mean, they paid the ultimate price for being woke. I've wanted to say something about this for years because I've heard about this. Well, not maybe not years, but at least for several months. Because I've heard about this happening. These Fatfluencers were dying young. And even though they say, oh yeah, we're healthy at any size, it's fine. At the very least, you are damaging your joints. Rapidly degenerating your joints more rapidly than the average person would be because of how much you weigh. So that's not healthy. And it's not because it's indirectly because you're fat, you'd say. I mean, it's directly because you're fat, but it's not caused by your fatness. It's just caused by the extra weight you're carrying. So before we get started, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed because YouTube doesn't subscribe people every single day. You can find me over on Rumble and on Twitter on BitChute. And Happy New Year, everybody! This video should be coming out on the 1st. I don't really care about the new year myself, personally, but hey, you know, it's an acknowledgement of the change in the calendar year. 2024 is going to be probably insane, and we can hopefully get through it together. I had a request here in one of my recent videos by Skyheights PC3HJ. Says, Australia's biggest anti-feminist YouTuber, Feminism Debunked, has today been attacked by multiple Australian newspapers. Please report on this. I can't find any information on this. If you're not aware, we don't really get a lot of news here on our internet from other countries in the United States. It doesn't just pop up. I imagine if you're a person who's constantly looking for international news, it would pop up on your feed. I'm not constantly looking for international news, so I can't find anything on this. I don't know the names of any Australian newspapers. I'm sure like Sydney Times is one of them or something like that. So if you guys wanted me to make a video on this, I know I have some Australian fans. Please send me links to this. Just, you know, dump links all over me on this, and I will report on Feminism Debunked. I've done videos before on Feminism Debunked. We've collaborated, or at least we've talked to each other about things in the past. I have nothing against Feminism Debunked. He's a good channel. He has a good message, but I can't find any information on this, so I can't say anything about it. So please send me the links, and I will make a video about that if that's what you want. So this stuff is not just limited to the United States. The whole Western world is going insane. Australia has a whole set of problems that it's got to deal with on its own. I hope we can all get through this in a happy and healthy way, but we'll see. Now, this article came out a few days ago that I'm going to talk about here. Like I said, I've been looking forward to maybe saying something about these Fatfluencers dying young for a while now, and just didn't have time to get into it or didn't see enough information on it to talk about it. But here we go. We got the Daily Mail. These 4 social media influencers were swept up by a movement that claims obesity is perfectly healthy. The tragic truth is they have all died under the age of 45. And that's kind of an understatement because, like, I think one of them made it to 43 and the others were dying in their 30s. And I don't mean like 39. No, look at this right here. It says, influencers such as 31 Stone Brittany Sauer have tragically lost their lives. Last week, MOS investigated America's fat pride culture war battleground. I quote battleground because it's not really a battleground, but look, fat pride is ridiculous. There's no reason, there's nothing to be proud of. You eat a lot. Oh, good job. That's what this comes from. I mean, sorry, if you want to be like, I don't eat that much, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to everybody else. If you eat less, you will lose weight. You might not be like super svelte like anti-woke warrior here, but you will weigh less the less you eat. That's just how it works. That's thermodynamics. I don't know what to tell you. Let's get into this article. The final videos posted by Brittany Sauer's TikTok page make for upsetting viewing. Speaking tearfully to the camera, the 31 Stone social media star who often posted defiantly body positive content about how hot she felt in certain outfits, admitted with shocking candor that she had ruined her life with food and binge eating, and it had left her aged just 28, full of regrets. Let's see, we're going to do some math here. So how much is a stone? It's 14 pounds. So she was 31 stone. 434 pounds. Wow. That's crazy big. Let's change this to, can we change? We'll do it this way here. No, we could do grams, but can we do kg? Here we go. So for those of you on the divide by 10 system, almost 200 kg. That's a lot of weight. Brittany had been a virtual prisoner in her own home for 2 years, dealing with type 2 diabetes and repeated bouts of skin infection cellulitis, which had caused a growth in her pelvis, weighing more than 2 stone, more than 28 pounds. 28 pounds, was that 13 kg? She had even been forced to ask someone else to cut her toenails, as it left her too breathless. Imagine being so big that you are out of breath cutting your toenails. Ow, man. Like, this is a whole other world to me, because I've always been like, hey, let's go like climb up this cliff over here. Let's go jump off this freaking building. All these crazy stuff. I was always running around. I've always been running around doing all sorts of stuff. Always, my whole life, I've always been very active. Always wanted to get up and go, and I've never been an overeater, apparently, because I've not gained any weight. I took my body fat yesterday. I did a little test. Most body fat I've ever had was yesterday when I took the test. 14%. That's the fattest I've ever been. I'm way out of shape, apparently, right now. That holiday weight, I don't know what it is. So the test could be inaccurate. It doesn't really matter to me. 14% is not that big of a deal. As long as I'm able to function, that's the main thing. She hoped desperately that it was okay. She hoped desperately that it was too late to save herself. That doesn't make much sense. I'm scared I'm going to end up in a bad place that my body can't recover from. She said to her 500,000 TikTok followers, I want you to know it's not worth it. Food isn't worth your life. A lot of people say, food is the thing. What is that old cliche? The only true love you can have is with food, or something like that. This is a different Fatfluencer here. This guy, let me see, what's his name? He's Waffler69. He died of a presumed heart attack, according to his brother, aged just 33 in January. Real name Taylor Lejeune. He did not flaunt his weight, but amassed 1.9 million followers by posting videos reviewing bizarre food, including reindeer meat and tinned ham from the 1960s. His last video, posted the day before he died, showed him eating a giant Fruit Loop in milk. Yeah, you can do this stuff. You can show off food. That's great. I got nothing against that. I want to see, different types of foods and know what other people are eating in other countries. That's fun. But you don't have to overindulge. You can eat a little bit. And that's the thing. People are like, oh, I can't have sugar. Well, maybe you can't. Maybe your biochem is such that when you eat sugar, it goes right into the fat storage. I eat sugar every day. Every single day. Let me see here. Do I got a 6-pack right now? No, it looks like I might have a 4-pack going on, but whatever. Not worried about it. Like I said, mainly as long as I can function. Here's another one. A well-known activist professor of fat studies, Dr. Kat Paws, who questioned the links between weight and health, lost her life at 42. Based at Massey University in New Zealand, she also presented a fat-positive radio show. Yeah, these people who are like, oh, look, I am overweight and totally healthy. Look, my blood work is fine. I get my annual checkups and my blood work all shows that I'm normal. Okay, mine didn't for years. My cholesterol was high. It's a matter of changing the diet. It took me a while to figure out what diet was going to get my cholesterol down. So it wasn't the amount of food I was eating was not the problem. It was the types of food I was eating. And I had to change. Food that we think is healthy, I had to mostly cut out of my diet because for whatever reason, it was increasing my cholesterol. So within a week of posting the film last December, Brittany was dead. Her death turns a spotlight on the controversial body positivity and fat acceptance movements that have seduced Brittany and millions of vulnerable young people like her. The past decade has seen extraordinary momentum building around a central argument that being obese doesn't have to mean unhealthy. In other words, you can be fat and fit. Not really. No. Maybe a little bit, but no, you're not. Like I said, at the very least, you're damaging your joints unnecessarily. So, branded health at any size, or HAES, the philosophy has at its heart laudable goals. It aims to counter the multi-billion-dollar diet industry, which has a poor record when it comes to long-term sustainable weight loss, and act as an antidote to the stigma encountered by people struggling with their weight. I've made videos where I go over my caloric control plan on MyFitnessPal. Just go to MyFitnessPal. You take your weight, whatever that is, multiply it by 14. If you want to eat less than that, you'll lose weight. If you want to eat more than that, you'll gain weight. Eat the same amount and you'll maintain your weight. MyFitnessPal is free. Just go there, a little bit of math. You can put in the numbers that you want and need, and then you can watch your caloric intake. You can weigh your food. Food scales are cheap. I got a food scale for $15. Took a AAA battery 3 years ago. Hasn't run out of that AAA battery yet. So the idea is that rather than shame overweight people and force them to diet, they should be encouraged to embrace their bodies, find exercises they enjoy, and eat more nutritionally. But some say those philosophies have been taken to extremes, particularly on social media, by celebrating morbid obesity while ignoring its serious health dangers. No, this is not morbid obesity. This is moribund obesity. This is deadly obesity. This is beyond the point where you can function as a real human being. You need somebody to clip your toenails for you because you can't do it because you're too tired. You can't get enough oxygen in your body to just clip your toenails. Ridiculous. Fact of the matter is, most people don't like exercising a lot. I like doing a little bit, but typically people do not want to exert themselves. They want to be lazy. They want to conserve as many calories as possible because when we were cave peoples, we didn't know where our next meal was coming from necessarily. We developed a system here in the world where we could feed the entire world's population many times over without having to worry about it. We just have that much food. It's everywhere. That's just the reality of it. I'm sorry to tell you if you didn't realize that, yeah, we have more food than we know what to do with in the world. There's people out there who, they're addicted to food. They are obsessed with getting more calories than they need every single day. Whether that's 50 more calories or 500 more calories or 5,000 more calories. They're obsessed with that. The U.S. edition of Cosmopolitan magazine was criticized for running covers featuring plus-size women in yoga poses under the headline, "This is Healthy," as part of a drive to challenge beauty stereotypes. It also featured U.S. plus-size model Tess Holliday, who is 5 feet 3 inches and 300 pounds, has a BMI of 53, more than double the healthy range, a decision condemned as dangerous and misguided. So plus size is not 5'3", 300 pounds. That's way beyond plus size. And plus size models are gross. They should not exist. We should not see plus size women displaying products we want to buy. Victoria's Secret had to learn this the hard way. Where I can tell you, look, what's attractive? Thin women. I've been criticized for being too thin more than once in my life. Like you can't see like my bones and stuff sticking out. My elbow, yeah, you can see my freaking elbow and my forehead. Okay. There's not a lot of fat in those areas, but I'm not anorexic by any stretch. Believe me. I eat more than enough food to get me through the day, which you should be doing. I mean, obviously you don't need to eat as much as you do to get through the day, but the less you eat, you run the risk of starving yourself. So there's a happy medium in there. Self-styled fat activists, meanwhile, not only promote larger bodies as healthy, but reject decades of science which prove the dangers of excess body fat, encouraging devotees to ignore doctors who recommend they lose weight. And who is this person here? The final videos, this is that Britney person, posted to Britney Sauer's TikTok page, make for upsetting viewing, speaking truth tearfully to the camera. The 31-stone social media star who often posted defiantly body positive content about how hot she felt in certain outfits, admitted with shocking candor that she had ruined her life with food and binge eating. So this woman is not a physically attractive at all. Not even a little bit. There's nothing about this woman that is appealing. I don't know any men who would be like, yeah, dude, she's hot. So don't listen to what she has to say. Now, how you feel, that's on you. You could feel hot all day long. It doesn't mean you are. There is certain things that human beings find attractive. Moribund obesity is not one of them. Some dietitians backing the belief even oppose weight loss jabs such as Wegovy, also known as Ozempic. Oh, okay. And bariatric surgery because they continue to encourage weight loss as an important part of health. Yeah, but being thin is an important part of being healthy. I just have gone over this. All you need to say is you're wearing down your joints more quickly if you're overweight. I think that's supposed to be one organization, Hayes UK, described weight loss surgery as mutilating body parts and not compatible with loving your body as it is. And those who criticize it are labeled fatphobic and anti-woke. I love how these people are like, oh, you feel like you're a girl, cut your wiener off. Oh, you want to be thinner? That's terrible. How dare you? Yeah. So ridiculous. The hypocrisy. But, it's a religion. So you can be hypocritical in religion. It doesn't matter because you're basing your belief system on things that largely are not proven or unprovable. Little wonder that experts have described the movement as a cult. There you go. I just said it's a religion. Some say this so-called body positive approach is also putting vulnerable young people at risk by failing to point out the unpalatable scientific truth that obesity dramatically increases the risk of a wide range of chronic and life-limiting diseases. In some cases, they say it could prove attractive to those who with binge eating disorders like US-born Brittany. After all, she's not the only one to lose her life. Another TikTok star, Waffler69, died of a presumed heart attack, according to his brother, age 33, in January. Who was this? This is Jamie Lopez, who starred in U.S. reality TV show Supersized Salon, died from heart complications, age 37 last December, if I could freaking recite numbers. The show is centered around obese women getting beauty treatments and featuring the catchphrase, go big or go home. Yeah. So here's the thing. You're wasting your time and money on your hair and makeup when you look like this, when you have a body like this. Nobody wants to be with a woman who looks, I look good, and flaunting it, but it's like you're disgusting from the neck down. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, nobody's going to want to be with you. She had described being discriminated against for being a plus-size makeup artist and wanted women like her to feel confident and sexy. But then Jamie decided to overhaul her health, eventually losing almost 29 stone, 180 kilograms, half her body weight, before her death. What crap? 180 kilograms? Damn. That's over 300 pounds, I think. Doing the math in my head. So she was over 600 pounds. That's enormous. A well-known activist professor of fat studies, Dr. Kat Paws, who questioned the links between weight and health, lost her life, aged 42, based at Massey University in New Zealand. She also presented a fat-positive radio show. She had said, the science isn't quite as clear-cut as we'd like to believe, and there's not really quite a consensus yet about the relationship between weight and health. There's not a consensus about a lot of things in science and medicine that we can point to and say, hey, look, that we know for sure is unhealthy. Look at smoking. There are people who smoke for decades, 70 years, and then die from something not related to smoking. And I don't mean like they're smoking like a few cigarettes. No, they smoke like a pack a day for 70 years. They die at 90 from some other thing, something that's not related to smoking. Oh, it's not clear cut though. We don't know that smoking is unhealthy for you because there's so many people. Excuse me. Let's not be stupid about this. You're putting particulate into your lungs. It's going to damage your lungs. Whether you have adverse health effects from that or not, it's not worth the risk, right? Same thing with overeating. Obese people and even more morbidly obese people have just as good health or better health than someone in normal weight ranges. No, she's lying when she says that. That's a quote from this Cat Pause. I guess it's actually pause because there's an exclamation point on the E. She died March 2022 from causes which have not been made public. Yeah, because they didn't want to embarrass her. Obesity researcher Sarah LeBrook, founder of charity All About Obesity, says that ignoring the health implications of excess fat is delusional. People are always going to be different shapes and sizes, she says. That's okay. and we need to be more accepting of that. But you must be mindful of the health implications. We don't need to be more accepting of that. We are already you tell me, dear viewer, have you yourself, or have you ever seen anybody walk up to somebody who is more abundantly obese and start ridiculing them? Or even somebody who's obese, or even somebody who's overweight. Maybe when you were a kid, you saw somebody get picked on because they're overweight. But now as adults, do people do that? Who does that? We are accepting of people of different body sizes and shapes because we all know that we could be one of those people someday. You could get into an accident, be deformed, and would you want people coming up and ridiculing you because you were in some sort of random accident and then hurt? And here's this cosmopolitan covers of This Is Healthy with these humongous women on it. What we know is more body fat you have, the more likely it is your body will be in an inflamed state. This means you might become insulin resistant and develop diabetes or end up with heart problems. There you go. Not everyone will, but the more fat you have, the more likely it is, just like I just said. She adds, what we can't do is be delusional about that. If you have a high BMI and you're not eating well, moving much, or looking after yourself, it's only a matter of time before that becomes a problem for your health and you start getting aching knees, high blood pressure, or sleep apnea. And that's just the start. Miss LeBrock says her encounters with activists have been quite cultish. Everyone seems to think and speak the same way, as if they've got a handbook to recite from. Adding, there's this idea that if you're big, you should stay that way, whatever the cost. For obesity specialist Professor Naveed Satter from University of Glasgow, the science around health and obesity is irrefutable. Ample evidence shows obesity can promote or accelerate over 200 diseases such as diabetes, strokes, many cancers, diseases, and impact movements such as arthritis and mental health, he says. Higher waist girth is a major reason for many people living with multiple chronic conditions, leading to suffering and health costs. And those who say losing weight is not necessary to improve health, he adds, considerable evidence now shows intentional weight loss via lifestyle or drugs can help lower the risk of many chronic conditions and even reverse some, such as diabetes. I don't think we need to read the rest of this. I'll leave a link to it down in the comments. You get the idea. I wanted to point out this, though. John Candy, beloved by Americans. This is John Candy right here. If you don't know who he is, he was a comedian, actor. Nobody had a bad word to say about the guy. He was famous back in the 1980s and into the 90s. He did movies like Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Wagons East. There were a bunch of other movies he did. He was very well known. American icon. Who we have his Wikipedia page. He died, age 43. From what? Let's go down here and read his death. Why not? Because they actually do tell us why he died. Let's see here. Health problems and death. Candy died in his sleep at age 43 on March 4th, 1994, in Durango City, Mexico, while filming Wagons East. A spokesman said that Candy's death is caused by a heart attack, something we see in obese people. In addition to his obesity, he tended to binge eat in response to professional struggles and weighed in excess of 300 pounds at some points in his life. 300 pounds is nothing compared to what we're reading about in this article here with 600-pound people. Or how about My 600-Pound Life? A show that is about people who are insanely huge. How you get to be that big is beyond me. Because I just look in the mirror and go, hey, look, I'm getting a little bit extra. Or I weigh myself and I go, hey, look, I'm getting a little bit extra. Maybe I should just cut back. But actually, you know what? I just keep track of all my intake. Really, that's what it comes down to. And then if I'm getting more calories than I need, I just go, oh, okay, well, I got more calories this day. Let's make sure that doesn't happen tomorrow. But yeah, it's more of this woke garbage where we're saying, look, I want to be the way that I want to be, and you should not judge me. We're eliminating the shame factor in our society. Like the video I did last time about the girl with the herpes. Don't shame me. I'm not a bad person because I got the herpes. That's how you got the herpes. That's the problem. You're right. You're not a bad person because you got herpes, because a lot of people get herpes through no fault of their own. But you are going around being irresponsible and disrespectful to the culture we live in. Just doing your own thing and not worrying about anything other than what your own pleasure was. Same thing with these obese people. They're worrying about their own pleasure and not what's really important in life, which is, making a difference, having goals, working towards those goals. being a good person, being considerate of others, because we live in a civilization where we're around other people. You have to consider them. That's what freedom is. It's a responsibility to consider other people and do the right thing. And people aren't doing that. It's too much work for them. So anyway, that's all I got for this time. Thank you for watching. Here's your palate cleanser.